Welcome to episode 55 of Ring Talk, the weekly Goodwin boxing show with myself, Martin Theobald, and with Steve Goodwin. We're on tight time scales instructed by Josh, so it's not going to be as long as usual, possibly. We'll see how much Steve talks.
Before we start, subscribe, it all helps. Please press the subscribe button. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're about 720. It means that the videos earn money. It means we can share it with the boxers. It means everybody earns. So please hit the subscribe button. And I'm surprised how many boxers don't do it, but please hit the subscribe button. And share the videos. Thank you.
Subscribe and share. Before we start, Brad Pauls was the only boxer that sent me about his sponsor that we said about last week. So I'm going to give them a message now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
The only boxer out of all of them.
So let's talk about Brad Pauls' sponsor, since he's the only boxer who could be actually asked to try and get his sponsor a mention. Shame on the rest of you.
So Fistral Beach Bar in Newquay, and when I went to Newquay, that is the best beach bar.
Is it?
Yeah.
So when I go down, because I go every year down to there. We're going near there this year. I'm going to visit there.
Fistral Beach Bar.
Fistral Beach Bar.
He says he literally couldn't stay in Essex and box without them. So
see, now that's what a boxer needs, is support from someone like that. So
yeah,
really
so Fistral Beach Bar, thank you very much for supporting boxers.
And Brad particularly, because he's going to be bringing titles down to your area in the near future.
Yeah, and if you ever need a bar and you're in Newquay, go there. Support Brad, alright? Cool,
perfect.
Done. Before we go into the weekend, you've got some miles to do this weekend.
Well, Thursday I'm going with Xavier Miller, because he's doing Sam Smith's cuts in Madrid.
Is he?
He's doing the cuts,
cool.
so, which is good, bit of company. So we're flying over. We're meeting Martin and Sam over in Madrid. She's got a tough call, tough ask against a former Olympian for the European title, but it's not going to be easy in a European title. Sam had home advantage when she fought for the Commonwealth. This time she's got to take it the other way around, but you know, at the end of the day, she's got a title shot. They're not always going to be at home. And so now she's just got to grab it with both hands.
But those title shots are few and far between, so I'm sure there must have been nerves, there must have been everything that came with it last time. You know, hopefully for Sam, it isn't the same this time, because you've had that first one, you've got it out of the way, and now great opportunity out in Spain. Do you know anything about the venue? Because I've seen...
It's a casino.
Oh, so it's not going to be like that La Jaraja out in Spain? No,
it looks to me to be a place for the high rollers, which is going to be better than where we saw Bradley Skeet go into.
Yeah,
that wasn't great.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not going to be that type of event.
Motorbike gangs. And
yeah, hopefully it's not that type of event.
Excellent. So you'll be out there with her on Friday for that one?
And then back to London Saturday morning, and whilst everybody else will be looking after the York Hall show, I'll be at the Copper Box for Lewis Syrett, who's having his Matchroom bow, as is Tom Ansell, and we've then got Wadi Camacho against Lawrence Okolie.
Small matter of Wadi fighting for a British title, defending his Commonwealth title.
Great fight for Wadi. Again, bookmakers have it Okolie 12 on, Wadi 10 to 1. So they've got Okolie as a hot favourite, I suppose rightfully so. But you know, not all 12 to 1 on shots win.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Wadi down at York Hall at the weekend. Looks in great condition. Probably boxing the best he's ever boxed in his career. He's having that Indian summer. It's his opportunity now, isn't it? This is, you know, where he gets his chance to shine. Yeah. It's a huge ask. It's a huge ask. Okolie, for all of his flaws stylistically, is an undoubted talent. But you can't rule Wadi out of it.
Let's just hope you get a referee. See, I think Okolie will come out initially and try and bomb Wadi out. If he doesn't bomb Wadi out, we're going to get all the jab and grab again. And let's hope we have a referee who actually now is going to say that enough is enough is enough.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the public Sky viewers want to see jab and grab, do we?
No.
You know, if Okolie beats Wadi with a decent performance, you accept that. Hopefully Wadi's going to cause an upset and win, but what you don't want is the jab and grab again.
It's probably fair to say you need a number of stars to align for Wadi to come out of Saturday night with that title. Probably a career best performance from Wadi, a decent ref, Okolie overlooking him perhaps and thinking past Wadi, all those things, and Wadi can do a job.
So you never know.
Yeah. So Saturday night on Sky, and the best of luck to Wadi.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be so great to see him lift that title at the end of the fight.
But it would be amazing.
And for Terry Coulter as well.
It'd be amazing. But listen, If you're not in it, you can't win it.
Yeah, absolutely. So best of luck, Wadi. I hope you do the job on Saturday night. We'll come on to a couple of new signings in a bit, but first we'll run back over the York Hall show from Saturday. I enjoyed the show a lot.
I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I missed the last few fights, as we know, but it was I've caught up on DVD. But it was a great show. I thought it was really exciting. It offered everything. I thought
the main fights delivered, which you know, as a promoter, you're taking that risk, aren't you? That it may not always, or it may do, but the main fights delivered, and the main undercard fights delivered as well. So you know, those things.
It's a great show.
Yeah. And everything else was the kind of prospects coming up, which you know what you're getting with those on the whole.
But I think even Craig would have been happy if he was there on Saturday.
Even Scottish Craig.
No, but rightfully so. And he's a very good. You know, if he'd been there, I think Craig would have enjoyed it. No, genuinely would have enjoyed it. Some of the shows he would watch and not enjoy so much, but I think he'd have enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's a good barometer, is Craig.
Yeah, that's what I think. Seriously, I think would Craig have come away thinking that was a good night? I think he would have done.
Yeah. So we'll come on to the fights, starting with one that I've said many times, one of the most improved fighters in your stable over the last 12, 18 months, Duane Sinclair. Stopping Taylor Mehmet.
Nobody stopped Taylor Mehmet. I mean, you know, he's been up against people like Dillian Whyte, and you know, heavyweight he has been stopped, but he's on the distance with everybody, and Duane Sinclair ruthlessly dispatched him.
Yeah, and then afterwards, because Dan Aziz, the light heavyweight, was sat behind me.
Yeah.
And Duane kind of gestured over to him, and Dan Aziz was sat like, yeah, let's go. I thought, that's a fight. That's a fight. Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily a fight as a manager you want to see.
Dan Aziz is fighting Andre Sterling as it stands for the southern area. Yeah, if Sterling doesn't vacate.
He wasn't convinced that'll happen. Not because he's saying Sterling's going to duck him or anything, but just because that fight isn't logical.
But Duane's also got the Fight Cup final to be rearranged with Jordan, so he's potentially got that to deal with. So there's a couple of things. We'll speak to Duane the next week or so.
Good. We'll come on to the main events later. Dennis Wahome against Alexander Birkenbergs.
Wasn't the greatest performance by Dennis.
Yeah.
There were, I found out there were reasons. His trainer had advised him not to fight. He shouldn't have fought, but he did fight. But it wasn't his greatest hour, and I think we just move on now to June with him.
Yeah, got the win. So
yeah.
Last fight of the night was Ricky Heavens against Theodore Budjajev.
I didn't see that live, but I mean Ricky's done well since his loss with Duane Green. Now it's time to go and get the revenge. The next fight will be against Duane Green.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Is that agreed with Ricky as well?
Yeah, we go back now. He's now got to right the wrong.
Cool. Kane Cantell against Andy Harris.
Done. Good little debut.
Yeah.
Sean L's in his corner. I was impressed with him. I think. No, I was really impressed. He's a young lad from Aylesbury, and no, I can't say any more than I was really impressed with him for a debut. I think he's done a really good job, and Sean L's is a really good trainer, and I think. People don't know who he is yet, but they will get to know who Sean Ells is.
Sean is fantastic. I spoke with him. It was after the Jumanne fight, and he was just hanging around near the bar area. I stopped and chatted with him. He's so wise. For such a young man, he's very, very thoughtful and wise about what he's seen in a performance and what he takes away from it. So impressive.
I'd have no worry about sending any boxer to Sean Ells to train.
Yeah, he's got a good upbringing there, hasn't he? About Brian G and Barry O'Connell.
Yeah, got a great. He's able to learn off some really good people. That whole gym is a brilliant gym.
Yeah. Jack Newham against Antonio Horvatic.
Glad to see Jack back after his disaster at Tottenham. I thought he boxed a lot more composed. He was still throwing shots, but he wasn't doing it recklessly this time. So I think he showed he's learned from that loss in Tottenham. So Jack's a young man with a great future ahead of him. I'm just glad to see him put that fight behind him. That's why he went on first.
Right.
Because we psychologically, I think when a boxer suffers something like that, it's good to get them on and off. And I said to Jack, I know you are a good supporter. You're on first this time, but there's a reason.
Rather than waiting around with the nerves gloved up. And
I wanted him to be done, fight and go. And his dad and him turned around and said, no, we get that. That's a good idea. So
makes sense. Another debut, Ziggy Macauley against Calamide.
It was a bit scrappy, wasn't it? It wasn't. I think some debuts are boxers find it hard, and I thought for a round he was quite sharp, and then it just fell into it went a bit messy. But I'm sure he can learn from it.
I'll always try and give boxers a pass on their debut because everything that comes with it. So I'm not going to judge Ziggy based on that.
No.
Big Dan Zaxo against Nobbers.
That's one I haven't seen that yet. You saw it. So he busted his hand.
Yeah,
in the fight.
he wasn't. I mean, he's still throwing hands. Whether he's busted it or not, he's still, he doesn't throw as much as he probably wanted to.
But he's gonna. We just got to keep building him. He's got no experience really before he came into the pro game, but he's doing. He will be a force to be reckoned with. But we just need to build.
He's a handful for anyone. Like, maybe his technique isn't, in the upper echelons of boxing, but his power, his enthusiasm, his energy, all those things make up for that technique aspect. And when he gets in your face and starts letting those arms go, like, it's overwhelming, it seems, for opponents.
He could be a little gem for us.
Yeah. We'll touch on one of the title fights now. We'll break it up a bit. Or eliminate a title fight. Linus, Udofia, Darren, Cordona.
Linus done what we thought he would have done.
Yeah.
You can now see why Taylor Jones done everything to avoid the fight, and is now fighting an Ultimate Boxer.
Yeah. I thought he was exceptional, Linus.
You see, he busted. Look, Darren Cordona. Darren Cordona is a good fighter.
He's a tough lad.
A really good fighter. I have total respect for Darren Cordona as a fighter. I watched the Taylor Jones fight. I personally thought he won the Taylor Jones fight. Didn't get the decision, but I thought he beat Taylor Jones. And I think Darren Cordona, we've got a lot of respect for him as a fighter. But he will agree that Linus is a bit special. Oh,
I was chatting with Johnny, his trainer, afterwards, out in the kind of reception bit of your court, and I said, "Is Darren okay?" And he said, "Yeah, he's fine. He fights another day," kind of thing on the back of that. So that's great. But he was applauding Linus as being something above that level. And in his view, Linus goes on to British titles, maybe even further. But he was enamoured with how Linus had performed, and Linus. He's so clever, like the little things that he did, the jabs to the body, you could see it was hurting Cordona, hurting him, and he was kind of, over time during the fight, breaking him. And you could see Cordona kind of doubling up, and then that right hand goes over the top. And then he does the little things of like just the tapping jabs to bring the gloves up, and then wallop! Chucks those hooks into the body, and then the uppercut through the middle.
Linus is a special talent, and we'll guide him correctly. He's now mandatory for the English title. That's being fought for. He won't get that this side of the summer.
Right.
We're looking for another outing before the summer, and then we'll see how things go. But no, we're delighted with his progress, and fortunately, he's been able to put 6 months of frustration behind him.
Yeah, and it's the little steps he does as well. The left, using those angles, left and right, rather than just standing in front and aiming for the head. He's doing all these other things.
You got to remember. He won 39 out of 41 amateurs. He only lost to Jordan Reynolds, and one of them was a contentious decision. So you've got to be real. He's a special talent.
Yeah. Good debut for you. It wasn't his debut. Brad Watson getting rid of Georgiev in a round.
I mean, Sonny Edwards took 3.
Yeah. God, I was so impressed with Brad. So impressed. Like, he just from the off, he was sharp. He was everything about him. He had a decent following with him as well. That sat behind. I think I sat with you at the time. Yeah, really impressed with Brad.
He's out again next month on the Costas Evangelou show, and we're going to keep him active and just building towards titles.
Yeah, he's only held that English, of course, hasn't he? But a lower weight.
He's going up at he's going into bantamweight now, but he should be able to walk through the bantamweight division.
Yeah, really special. I liked him. Adrian Martin, Jumanne Camero. Jumanne coming in late notice, picked up the win.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with this is, with Adrian, it's just so people understand how this all works. It's very difficult to get opponents at the moment. There were 21 fights in Britain cancelled last weekend, my understanding. And we did have an opponent for Adrian that was slightly heavier than Adrian was. And the coach, I understand, decided the weight was too heavy. But I think coaches don't understand now that if you turn down fights, you're left with none.
Yeah.
It isn't going to. It's not going to Tesco's or Sainsbury's anymore. You get something you think that will do. It might not always be the perfect one. So we got to the Thursday. Adrian's off the bill. There is nobody available. Jumanne was the only one available, which is not a fight we'd ever pick for Adrian. So it was a choice. Do you want to just wait for another day? Or take the Jumanne fight, and they wanted to take the Jumanne fight. It wasn't the fight that you'd ever normally take.
Yeah.
So the fight goes. Adrian himself, something was wrong. He was blowing after 2 rounds, and that's not him. Jumanne was, Jumanne, you've got to remember, is fighting 3 weights above his last fight.
Yeah.
And he's on from lightweight to super welterweight.
At a few days' notice.
Yeah. So really, everything was in Adrian's favour. He didn't perform. Jumanne did perform really well, to give Jumanne his full credit. Jumanne's a handful for anybody. And I think Jumanne performed better there than he did against Jeffrey Ofori. And Adrian really wasn't himself either, so combined with Jumanne being the winner, Adrian could come again. We've just got to identify what went wrong with him. But it's also an example to every coach in the country that when you get offered a fight that we think may not be your perfection, but we think is suitable, please take it. But I don't blame anybody for it, but I think it's something everybody's got to learn.
It's a lesson.
It's a lesson. Adrian should have beaten Jumanne realistically.
Yeah.
Anyway. So it wasn't,
especially at that weight and in those circumstances.
Yeah, so I think he should have won. He was favourite to win anyway. I thought Adrian would probably win, but I think it's important. And we had the same situation with Curtis Felix this week, but turned down a fighter for being 2 kilos over the weight. So I basically rang Barry O'Connell on Friday. I said, Barry, we've just had to take Jumanne Camero for Adrian Martin. Just take this fight and come up in weight, because weight doesn't matter. And I explained about it. They took it. So therefore, it's something now I can use going forward to say, look, this is what happens if you don't take the opponents. You could get left with something you don't ideally want.
Yeah.
And I'm just not sure whether the nerves got the better of Adrian. One thing for sure, that wasn't the Adrian Martin that I know will be. So we just need to put that behind us.
But take nothing away from Jumanne, because he was
Jumanne though. You see,
brilliant.
Considering he hadn't been in the gym.
I've listened to the Fight Talk podcast. He had 2 takeaways the day before. An Indian and a Chinese.
Yeah, he wasn't. So that was the weird thing. So from Adrian's point of view, you think, well, it's okay, but he obviously is a freak of nature. That despite the fact that he doesn't do a full preparation, he's still naturally a very good athlete. Yeah, listen, I've got hats off to Jumanne.
And credit again to Sean, Barry, Brian in the corner.
But I did text Jumanne on Sunday and said, the phone will not ring again.
I was thinking about this because, I mean, obviously the case is that for somebody in the away corner to turn up, disrupt things, get the win, the argument is that the phone won't go again. But if all these fights are falling out around the country, 25 over the last week or whatever, fell out of bed, is it then more likely that...
Not when he's going to beat a 9-0, no.
3 weights above where he should be.
I do not think the phone will ring again.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a sad indictment, isn't it, really?
I mean, he might get a call for a big show last minute, but it's something I'm going to sit down with Jumanne and Sean. Jumanne would like to fight every week. I'm afraid he's too good to be doing that sort of job, so we have to have a different plan of action. Conor Ben won't fight Julio Venosi. He's not going to fight Jumanne Camero. Today we were trying to do the fight with Julio Venosi and Conor Ben, and they turned it down. Julio was apparently too good, so they're not going to fight. And Julio is not. He's a talented kid, but he's not. Jumanne Camero has a better resume.
Yeah.
I think Conor Ben's going to be fighting some foreign, top record is not very good.
Yeah, but he's number 12 in the world, isn't he? So.
Yeah.
Ish. Robbie Chapman, Jordan Granham.
Robbie Chapman, I thought done well, considering he had the thing at the time before where Jordan didn't turn up. I was really happy with Robbie. I think he's all right. We can move him on towards titles. It
was a learning fight.
Yeah, but he's doing all right, Robbie, and I think he'll definitely be in the mixed Southern area level within the next 12 months.
Yeah, I love Jordan in the away corner. He's so composed. Yeah. Chats all the way through the fight. He's just chirping.
He's a great talent. He's a great talent.
Yeah, he really is. Mikael Lawal against Ken Corpinen.
Didn't see the fight.
Okay. It was underwhelming from Mikael. He's better than what he showed on Saturday night, undoubtedly for me. I had Ronald McIntosh sat behind me all the way through it. And fair play to Ronald McIntosh, because he turned up there before the doors had even opened for the show, and he was around the venue watching certain fights, just in the shadows of the background. He's such a student of the... I don't like his commentary necessarily.
Lovely man, though.
I've spent a very short time.
He's a really nice man. Nice man.
I don't always approve of his commentary, but you cannot doubt his commitment to boxing. And he was there because Mikael is one of his kind of students, if you like. But yeah, he spent the whole time there, like just taking in and then seeing the fights. Yeah, but it was like watching it on TV because I then had Ronald's commentary behind me all the way through the fight.
Oh, okay.
Lovely jab, Mikael. I'm waiting for stanza. And then, yeah, coming on to the main event, K Prospere, Sam O'Maison. To tell people what happened that didn't see it.
Well, it was two went for the draw. The Northern judge, not surprisingly, went for Sam O'Maison. So the 2 draws were the Southern judges, which I think I had K winning, but I know you had it as a draw.
Yeah. I
don't think you can argue with it being a draw. I think I definitely can't have Sam O'Maison winning that by 2 rounds. But he was warned 4 times for illegal blows.
I only saw 3 of them.
There were 4 warnings.
Okay.
There were 3 low blows and 1 for something else, but he was warned for sort of part. He was pulled into the corner. If you counted, I watched it. It's 4 times he was called in. Sam O'Reilly thought it was 3, but it was 4 times he was pulled into the corner and warned. And he should have had a point.
Yeah.
He should have had a point.
Which would have changed the outcome.
Which means K wins. And that was the whole point. Was it disrupted K various times because although you recover from a low blow, you've had the wind knocked out yourself. Takes you a while to get going again. And for me, he should have had a point, and therefore K would have won. I think K won anyway. I think K nicked it by a round. You can't argue. Look, you can't argue. I think it was tight. You can't argue with the draw, but I definitely feel we should have had a point.
Yeah.
But the Southern judges and refs are very fair.
Yeah.
And it was the Southern referee.
Yeah.
I wish you got the same when you went up north. No, I'm serious. You don't get it up north. You don't get the same up north.
I had 5 rounds all. I thought, for me, Sam dominated the early part of the fight, and it looked as if, and I might be miles off, but it looked as if Ryan Rhodes and Sam had got a game plan that said we will get K out within 4 rounds, and they nearly did. Round 1, Sam clips K. K's legs kind of went a bit Bambi-ish, but he recovered. He showed composure. He showed that he could take a shot. And Sam's power was very evident for rounds 1, 2, 3. Started to dissipate a bit by round 4, and then not that he'd gone because he was still a dangerous fighter, but it wasn't as evident in the latter rounds. By which point K had started to come back into rounds more, and it was a worthy draw for me.
We watched the fight, right, and the amount of Sam O'Maison shots that landed on gloves.
Right.
Now, you may have been scoring them, but if you actually rewatch the fight again and you look at how the clean punches, I think you'd probably I think you'd rescore it, rewatching it, because it looks as if he's landing. I mean, where I saw it was but they were landing gloves. So much of his stuff was landing gloves. K had this high guard, but K said he hit so hard that the punches on the gloves were forcing him back.
Yeah.
So it might have looked like it was a shot, but they were gloves. The vast majority of Sam's work was hitting the gloves. When K was hitting, he was landing. And I, therefore, rewatching it back, I gave it to K bigger than I gave it at ringside.
Right.
But I can understand. I've got no argument with the scoring, even though I think we won. But I think we were a tad unlucky not to either nick it or get it. And the referee should have given him a point.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing was, without scoring the fight, if I'd have just taken it on gut feeling, I would have probably given it to Sam, which I think comes down to the aggression, the power.
But he was hitting. But you don't get. You shouldn't get points for aggression and hitting gloves.
No, I get that, but like,
I understand the feeling.
Watching it and getting the feeling.
I get that.
But actually, I did have K down 5 rounds all, and I thought it was a fair result.
Yeah, get that.
I think credit as well to Sam and Ryan, because they as a team have been great all the way through.
Fantastic. Really good people to deal with. Really good people. I don't begrudge him. I don't. I think we were tad unlucky. I don't begrudge him. I think and I wish Sam all the best in his career going forward. And I think K has shown he's at that level and above. And that's what I think is important for K. He's now shown that he's capable of mixing it at a high level. And for me, we can now go looking for some big fights for K.
Yeah.
And going forward, that's what we've got to look at. We could, you could say we could have had a point, and we just but it's not something we'll address now because that's happened, and we wish everybody all the best. But K's now proved he's now at title level.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, I say credit to K. He was a career best performance for me. You know, he still carried that power and that energy into the later rounds. He was more consistent, if you like, than Sam, who seemed to peak early on and then drop off for me. Whereas Kane
came back at the end. It was all on the last round because Ramez won the last round. So basically, if you look at it, Kane was winning going after on the cards. I forget the Steve Gray's one. The two Southern area total. He was 1 round ahead going into the last round.
Right.
So it was the last round that cost him on those 2 cards.
Yeah. It was fascinating. I was saying to you earlier about watching Ryan Rhodes in the corner. It was so fascinating that he was very calm and composed for the first kind of 3-4 rounds, and then his levels of animation went through the roof by the end of it.
Because he probably realised it was slipping.
Yeah, it was great to watch. Like, just those little nuances of what goes on at boxing events. Fantastic. 2 new signings that were announced Saturday. So we'll start with Maheeb Fazeldin.
Yeah, former English champion. He's now going up in weight to super bantamweight. Talented kid, undefeated in 13, and is somebody we're looking to develop and bring him to titles. And these sort of fights, it's great. He's had a year of inactivity, signed with another manager who we know about quite well, and he wasn't happy with his inactivity.
Yeah.
So he, you know, again, you're not party to the conversation, but he was saying false promises and all this sort of stuff, and therefore he left that contract and came with us, and we'll deliver everything that we promised for him.
Maheeb, he's got that aura about him that he's cocky, brash, arrogant, all those things, but likeable to go with him.
He comes from Sheffield.
Yeah,
he's got nice clone, right? So.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where you're going with it. Is that he's got all those things about him, but he's very likeable to go with.
Oh, he's a really nice guy.
It's not to say that he's a dislikable person because he has those things. He's just, you know, you ask him about where he's going. He's like, I'll have a fight at York Hall. I'll come and light this place up, and then I'm going to bigger things after that. You know, I admire that self-confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, really nice that. And then Pauly Upton being the other one.
Pauly Upton obviously was with MTK, come to the end of his contract with them, and he wanted a change, so he came to us, and we'll build him towards the right fights and right titles. And Pauly's going to be out on the 5th of July.
Alright, excellent. So his last time we saw him was at York Hall against Ted Cheeseman, didn't go his way, but we've seen what Ted's gone on to achieve subsequently, so no shame in that whatsoever, but he's got a solid resume on him, Pauly. Brings that Upton clan along with him. He's still got a lot to do in the sport, a lot that he can achieve.
I know, he's a nice guy, and I'm looking forward to helping build towards titles. I think it's a compliment that people want to come. They look at the resume of what I do with fighters and how I deliver for them, and they have their careers are where they both feel that's stagnating, and therefore they want to come to somebody that they feel can reignite their careers. And I think there's a lot more of that going on with us. We're getting a lot of people now who have maybe disappointed or feel that I can do a better job, and they're coming, so it's great. And
it must be a bonus for you that you've had him on your shows before. You know what he's like as a lad. You know the team that come with him, all those things. There's no unknowns about him.
I'm delighted to be working with him.
Yeah. Alright, we'll come on to York Hall this Saturday. So it's a slightly strange card, isn't it? The one where your Albanian David Beckham is
out making his UK debut.
Yeah, so Florian
Marku, ex-kickboxer, stacks and stacks of him on YouTube, but he's only ever had one boxing match.
Right.
And that was against somebody who's 0-3 in Germany. So he's going to come in today. We were trying to match him with a lot of really good fighters in the UK, people with positive records, but nobody wants to know. I offered a kid, right, and I'm going to say a lot of money, right, for 6 rounds. Who with a good record, he basically wants to go on the road, and they turned it down. This kid's got, so it's very difficult to match him, and I don't.
Give it Jumanne.
Sorry?
Give it Jumanne.
You fight Jumanne. Well, Jumanne,
he got a stag do this.
But they want to fight. They want to fight Jumanne.
Oh, did they?
They want to fight Jumanne. They'll have Jumanne.
Yeah.
They'll have Jumanne, but I'm not sure it's the right fight to make. I don't really want to put Jumanne in there with 1,000 Albanians. Do you know what I mean? It's just not the right fight to make. Yeah. So, but it's, you know, it's something where he's looking to box again next 4 weeks after this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a continual roll on of his thing. He's a very talented boxer. But we're going to see more. He's got, you know, this is a warm up for him really, and then we're going to start kicking on again next month. We're already looking to match him for the next month.
And if the gym stories are true, he can fight. He's
He's
not a social media star alone.
It looks like a fight. I think it'd be really interesting. I won't be able to see him, but I mean, but I'll have a look at the video afterwards. But the rumours are he's decent. So
yeah. Supporting that, Jon Palata, Phil Williams. Big John back out again.
Yeah, I mean, he was due to fight Chris Healy. Chris Healy got cut last weekend. So Phil Williams, he's literally, again, we're struggling to get somebody this late notice, so Phil's going to go in with him again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just needed to, other than that, John wasn't going to box.
It's a body. It's somebody
Phil's more a body because he's a...
No, don't get me wrong, but... yeah, like it's somebody that you can get in at late notice.
Yeah, and so he's going to have a fight. Otherwise, he'd have lost. He wouldn't have got a fight. Same thing again. If somebody pulls out a week to go, then you're in trouble.
And Phil brings his own dangers. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Curtis Felix against Gimud Umia.
Yeah, Curtis. I mean, he's got to be on the verge of Southern Area titles now, and yeah. So and again, I think he's very talented. He won a 10-round fight against Justin Menzies at Tottenham last year. Yeah. And it's just Curtis now, we're just building him now towards titles, and he's a very talented kid. I think he could go welterweight or super lightweight, but at the moment, both of those titles seem to be, the Southern Area levels seem to be sort of frozen up, but so if we can't get moving quickly, we'll have to move him on to English.
Yeah, Brad Pauls, supported by the best beach bar down in Newquay, Central Beach Bar. He's out this week.
Well, he's out. Brad's out now. He's out this week. He's out the 20th of April in
that's Torquay,
and then we're hoping to get him out again in May.
Yeah.
So he's a busy boy, Brad, but he's always happy when he's fighting. If he's not fighting, he's always on the phone to me going, "I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight." He would like to fight. He's a throwback. He'd fight every month, Brad.
Yeah, he's such a nice lad, Brad. He's one of my favourites. He's annoyingly good looking. He's annoyingly chirpy. He's annoyingly like everything about. He can fight. He can really fight.
But he's a really nice guy.
But he's such a nice lad to go with.
And the thing is, to me, I'm gonna do. I mean, he's re-signed for a year. You know, once a boxer re-signs with you, then you know you've got their commitment, and you bust a ball even further.
Yeah.
So with Brad, it's a case of we will do everything we can, and he's going to be a champion this year, and he's only 25, so let's be real where we are. He's still 3 years away from his peak, but we're just going to build him and build him and build him, and Brad's going to be British title level for sure. Yeah. He's an exciting talent, so we're going to deliver for him.
A top quality fighter.
Yeah.
David Abraham.
Yeah, Dave's built. He's up to 6-0 now. He's fighting Miles Willington, who's coming off a win. It's actually not a bad fight, that.
Yeah.
Miles has sort of had his few fights. Now he's come back for a win. I think that's a good fight for Dave. But he's got to get rid of Miles to move on further. So let's see how he's got a new trainer for this fight. So
okay.
We'll see how it goes.
And the final one who was meant to be on last week, he's on this week. Ramez Mahmood taking
Ramez Mahmood. Let me tell you why he didn't fight last week. A manager that we deal with, a nice guy. But we made a fight. We send everybody the weigh-in details on the Tuesday saying this is the weigh-in, and then he rang Kevin up and said, "I thought I told Steve this guy's retired." Oh. So 4 days before we were dropped in the shit.
Wow.
It's too late to get him an opponent. So what I've done, he's not my fighter either. He's Mickey Amoo's fighter. But Mickey Amoo is my good friend, and I will look after his boxers like I would my own. So therefore, it's shove him on here and do him a favour. So that's what we've done.
Excellent. Edward Bjorkman's not a knockover job, is he, for Ramez?
No, again. We had to get somebody at this late notice who would fight, so Eddie's the man that will come in and do the honours.
Yeah,
in the
good. It's a good fight.
Yeah, so
enjoy that.
Fight. So it's a good little card. Good little card.
Excellent. All right, we're going to come on to the questions for the week. We haven't got too many because we only put it out late last night, which is good for a time restriction. Sam Khan on Twitter, considering how interesting the British heavyweight scene is, what plan does Steve have for his heavyweights?
Well, it's different. The ones that I've got on the home card who are boxing is Jon Palata, obviously.
Yeah.
We're building through the numbers game because he's a real talent.
Yeah.
Dave Abraham's going to be 7-0 after this, so he's going to have look for a step up. So we're going to have a meeting with Dave. So both of those are sort of moving through the numbers games towards decent level fights. Then you've got Harry Armstrong, who's starting off making his debut. So he's coming out. He's having his debut in June. So again, that's just building up from scratch. Omar Mikael, we look after with Swindon. He had a reversal last time, so he needs to come back. Phil's boxing in the away corner.
Yeah.
And that's...
It's difficult.
George Fox, he's 2-0 and currently injured.
Right.
So we can't actually do a lot until George is ready to go. So the two most advanced are Jon Palata and Dave Abraham.
But there aren't that many heavyweights about, are there? So
No.
I mean, you look at like Dubois went through the Southern Area level and then English level, and then is moving up.
But you don't want to pick. I mean, Jon Palata's he's obviously the most active, and he's got the most amateur experience, being an ABA. Yeah. Being hot, he got very far in the ABAs. So London ABA champion, and he went through in the senior into the main ABAs. But so he would be the furthest forward. Dave Abraham's a bit more raw, and he's just changed his trainer. But they're both sort of getting near to getting to the tops. Jon Palata's got to be hitting tight, going for the Southern Area, maybe by the end of the year. Yeah,
I mean, there aren't. I said there just aren't that many, are there? So I mean, who do you look around at? Fabio Wardley, like.
We'll have that fight for Jon Palata.
Would you? That'd be a good fight.
We'll have that fight.
Yeah,
definitely at some point. It's got to be the right fight for the right money and the right title. But yeah, I mean, Fabio's great talent.
He is, but so's Jon. It's not saying Jon isn't.
But remember, with Fabio, he's got great movement, but nobody's hit him yet.
Yeah,
and Jon Palata's a great mover as well. So yeah, it's not.
But with the lack of talent within that division, and not sorry, lack of talent, lack of volume of numbers within that division, do you have to take risks earlier with?
Not necessarily, because with heavyweights you continue to build, because the more you build, the greater the financial rewards.
Yeah, everyone loves a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Tim Brown, I'm going to have to try and break this down a little bit, because when I read it first time, it confused me. You said last week about boxers get a third or a half, and that was dependent on the first packet of tickets, second packet. You said this was based on tickets sold. What happens because a boxer can sell 100 tickets at £60?
No, so it's volume. It's volume. It's nothing to do with numbers of tickets sold. It's about the monetary value that they sell.
Okay, because you were saying 100 tickets at £60 or 150 tickets at
you don't
£40 is the same value.
No, it's done on value, so it's not done on. It's not done on numerical.
So it's say £2,000 threshold.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with you can sell what you like price wise.
So is it on tickets sold or value? Because more like, okay, there you go.
So some fighters will sell more of inside than normal, so they have to sell less to earn their money.
Cool, makes sense. John Bailey, what doors would winning Ultimate Boxer open for Brad Pauls?
None, because he's not in it.
I think you tweeted something about this yesterday.
Look, what happened was they asked us. They told us the date of 20th of April, which worked. So we agreed at that point to go in it. They then moved the date without even telling me. Right? Didn't tell me. The next thing you know, they sent Brad tickets for a different date. When I realised what date it was, he can't do that date.
Yeah.
So I then rang him and said, "Well, you can't fight. You can't do this date. What are you doing?" So, they don't like communicating with managers. They tend to want to deal directly with boxers.
Isn't that legal?
It's totally wrong.
I say illegal. It's against the
totally against the rules of everything. But that's what they do. And I've told them before, but they continue to do it. So this time they ended up with a late pull-out because they didn't communicate with me in the first place. It'd been far easier if they communicated with me because I said he can't do that date.
Yeah, which is a real shame because Brad would be ideal for that format.
But he can't do the date, and that's and you've got to remember that with them. Even though it's on BT Sport, there are ticket deals. Yeah. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So it's not like the old prize fighter where you just got the money. You had to sell tickets on a particular date as well. So if you haven't got people there, you're going to be fighting for free in Ultimate Boxer, which is a bit mad.
Yeah.
So the date didn't work, so we couldn't do it.
All right, John Bailey again. Will the ESPN MTK link up directly affect your business?
Not in the slightest. We concentrate on what we're doing. Some of these link ups. If you remember, and I don't know why, there were 20 Box Nation shows that didn't materialise. So we'll see. The details, the devil's in the detail. Who knows? What I would say on a positive side, it's fantastic for any boxing to be shown anywhere. But you've got to remember, with all due respect to American TV audiences, and just take the last fight, who would really be interested in Michael McKinson fighting at 2 o'clock in America in an afternoon? Do you really think the viewing figures will be that great?
Yeah, I think
probably not. You'd have to have bigger fights that involve Americans to make that work. Otherwise, it'll be on there and you won't get very many views. But what I do say is, I think that if it's a benefit to the boxers involved, it's great. But only time will tell.
Yeah. Ali on Twitter watched 2 interviews of Taylor Jones addressing the Udofia pullout. What do you make of his injury miraculously disappearing and his being, quote, newly motivated to train when the Ultimate Boxer opportunity arose late January?
We're going to be newly motivated when you know that Linus Udofia would have knocked him spark out. And that's the reason. I'm fed up with that. Taylor Jones has made.
Draw a line under it.
Draw a line. I've covered it on so many different things. I told you before the fight he wouldn't fight. I told you 2 months before he wouldn't fight. I said he wasn't. I said he wouldn't do the fight. And why wouldn't he do the fight? Because Linus dispatched Darren Cordona, and he would have dispatched Taylor Jones in the same way. And obviously the injury. He's been fit for the last 4 weeks, thrown loads of punches. But he was due to fight Linus last Saturday, but he had to pull out injured before. Really?
Right,
really?
No more Taylor Jones.
I'm never going to mention Taylor Jones again on here.
Alright, UK Boxing 1 on Twitter. Now it has become evident that Taylor Jones and Chris Billham-Smith's claims of him being injured seem to be questionable. As they both seem to have fights in the pipeline, will Steve be looking to pursue legal action against their teams?
Well, I definitely could, but I have decided in these 2 instances that we're going to just move on. But I have made, for example, I now preempt this because Chris Billham-Smith, Dion Juma has now been matched with Craig Glover.
Yeah.
So I rang match from this week. I spoke to Paul Reddy. I said, Paul, do not do this to Dion again. We're not going to have it again, and I wouldn't care if Matchroom did it this time. The next company that do it,
make an example of,
are going to get it. They're going to get the full thing, and they're going to get the whole shebang. And but I will ring the parties beforehand to say, do the right thing. Yeah. Because if you then don't do the right, Matchroom will do the right thing, right? But if you don't do the right thing, then we're going to deal with it.
And if they said, no, we're not going to get to Prospere, we're not interested in that fight, that's fair enough.
I've got no problem with that. And Matchroom's view on the fight is they're not saying they want it.
Right. What
they're going to do is let Glover fight on the 30th of March, then speak to Tony Bellew, and they're going to make a decision whether they want it. And they are entitled to do that. And they are perfectly entitled to do it. I'd rather them decide now, but they have the right to do that. That's no problem.
Yeah.
But what you don't want to do is go to the purse bids, ask for an extension, feign an injury, lose a purse bid and then pull out. They are the 3 instances that we can't tolerate anymore.
Yeah, final question, a name we touched on earlier, but the question from UK Boxing 1, George Fox and Michael Ramez-Mahmood, what's next?
George Fox is injured.
Yeah.
Michael Ramez-Mahmood is a slightly more complex issue. You've got to remember, I've taken Michael on as an away, he's not a journeyman because he's better than a journeyman, as an away fighter that doesn't sell a ticket. Like
Jumanne, by his own admission, doesn't want to try and sell tickets, he wants to fight. I think that's what he said.
But it's not as easy as said and done. So I think I've been a miracle worker in giving him 3 title fights. But now he's a champion, right? He's now a champion, but he still won't be selling a ticket.
Yeah.
So what do? I've got to find somebody who wants to fight him.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we can't find anybody that's going to fight him. The board aren't nominating him for anything. So there's only so much in this world I can achieve.
Do you need the board to nominate someone for him?
And I keep asking them, and for 2 months they haven't given him I've said, look, give us a mandatory now.
Yeah.
Give us some British thing now. Give us something now. But unless the board do anything and nobody else comes forward, and I'm trying, there's not a lot I can do. You need, as a boxer, to have a when you've got, say, Kay Prospere, who has sold, or Linus or Brad, if you've got a following, it's far easier to build your career. It's harder to build a career with somebody who hasn't a following. Jumanne is exactly the same situation as Michael is.
Yeah.
So I can't answer that question honestly because I'd just be bullshitting. I'm trying my best to work with a very hard situation.
Yeah, final one again from UK Boxing 1 on the bottom of that. April 20th, 02 and April 27th, Wembley. Any of Steve fighters going to be on these cards?
Sam Cox is confirmed for the 20th.
Is he? I like Sam.
There won't be anybody on the 27th. That's the Frank Warren show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Won't be anybody on that. Sam Cox is definitely out on the 20th.
Good.
But there may be another one.
All right, cool. Okay, well that's it. That's the end of this week. You've got a busy few days ahead.
Loads to talk about next week. And no more Taylor Jones questions. They will not even be asked.
Done. I'm going to ignore them from now on.
Please ignore them. No more, because I've said, you could say the same thing. Listen, he's got to get on with his career.
Yeah.
He's got to
best of luck to him.
Best of luck to him to try and win Ultimate Boxer. He's still done the wrong thing. Yeah. But listen, he's a fighter. Best of luck to him in that competition.
Go and win Ultimate Boxer and then fight Linus. That'd be awesome.
I would never make that fight.
Okay, don't do that.
Because why am I going to make a fight? He's going to pull out again.
Yeah, all right,
and we're not going to waste 6 months. Unless the board force us, I will never fight Taylor Jones for any of our fighters again.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, what should I? I don't trust him to turn up.
No, I get that. Right, enjoy Spain, and then back to Wembley. And best of luck to Sam Smith, best of luck to Wadi, best of luck to Fistral Beach Bar down in Newquay.
And Lewis Syrett as well, and Tom Ansell.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot you too. But yeah, all the best to everyone involved, and we'll see you next week.
Fantastic.